Howdy, it's Jim Murado, and we're at Mammoth Cave National Park, and we're actually at Sand Cave. This is, I think, about a 2-mile drive from the Mammoth Cave Visitor Center. You can ask any ranger there how to get to Sand Cave, and they will be able to tell you. And today is February 8th, 2025, and we are at this spot. We're at Sand Cave on the exact 100th anniversary of Carnival Sunday, while Floyd Collins was trapped in Sand Cave and word got out that he was down there. People started coming to the area, some to help, some just out of curiosity, and you had several thousand people tramping around this area where we're at now, having a good old time, selling beer and hot dogs and just enjoying themselves. In fact, over the 2 weeks that Floyd was trapped in the cave, and if you don't know, he did die, during that period, his dad was even selling photos of him. So lots of people making money and exploiting the situation to its fullest. The national park has put this wonderful boardwalk wooden trail out to Sand Cave. And I'm walking out there. I know I'm a little wobbly, but I'll give you the whole trip there just so you can see how quick and easy it is. This is a very, very simple path, very quick and easy hike at the Mammoth Cave National Park. And of course, Floyd Collins is buried just a couple of miles from here too, not too far from the visitor center. He was resting in a coffin inside of Crystal Cave for several decades, and his story continued on for quite a while after his death. Some people even stole his body from the cave at one point. The story goes on, and plenty of books out there on Floyd Collins. You can pick them up at the Mammoth Cave Visitor Center even. And, of course, any guide can tell you all about Floyd Collins. Very interesting story. I've been a bit obsessed with it myself for some time. It's quite the rabbit hole to go down. And, just interesting. We came out, we drove down, and we first went to Cave City, and we went to Ace Coffee. They hosted a kind of a Floyd Collins event this morning. One of the baristas wrote and read a poem that she had written about Floyd and about Carnival Sunday. And there was also the cast of the Floyd Collins musical out of Bowling Green. They're going to do their performance March 8th, and they did one of the songs. And the lady that runs and owns Ace Coffee is a relative of Floyd Collins. So it was very appropriate, very nice day to come out to Mammoth Cave. Every day is a nice day to go out to Mammoth Cave. And by the way, Mammoth Cave did do, they were doing, I guess you would call it a lottery, where throughout the month of February, I believe the whole month of February, you could take a Floyd Collins tour. And they do a similar event. Here's the group. This is the group on this. This is the lucky group on February 8th that made it out. And I would talk. There's a ranger right there. We just saw her briefly. She was in the back. I would talk to her quite a bit, very quietly. I didn't want to disrupt the other park ranger or the other visitors. She grew up in this area, and she lives in Arizona now and works at a cave out in Arizona. But she came down for the moment to help out with these Floyd Collins tours, and I thought that was pretty cool. I was kind of jealous of her. Anyway, the cave, Mammoth Cave, often does a caravan tour, a Floyd Collins caravan tour. I've done it before. I've put up video about it elsewhere on this YouTube channel, but it's where you kind of drive around in your own car. You follow one of the rangers, and he takes you to several spots associated with Floyd Collins. And I think they were basically doing that tour. However, they had access to Floyd Collins' Crystal Cave, another cave that he discovered elsewhere in the park boundaries. And I have never been inside of that cave, and that really bothers me. So, so yeah, if you have any strings to pull and can help a guy out, I would sure love to visit that cave. There have been rumors that the Mammoth Cave National Park is going to reopen it up and do tours through that cave also. I don't know how true that is. I think it's mostly speculation. I hope that happens, though. I know they have, there is Mammoth Cave, and there are a couple of other caves within the boundaries of Mammoth Cave National Park ran by the National Park Service that they do tours to. They just started back up the Wandering Woods cave tours. That's another cave that was basically dormant from a tourist standpoint for several decades, but they have opened that back up, and they do sporadic tours into Wandering Woods. I have a video of that elsewhere on my YouTube channel. But yeah, Sand Cave up here, it's kind of on the lower right corner. And that's where Floyd got trapped, 55 feet underground. People think of going into a cave. They compare it to what they've seen at places like Mammoth Cave, where you have a nice big, wide open, 150-foot tall, wide entry into a cave, lots of space, very spacious, nice paved paths. That definitely was not the case with Sand Cave and Floyd Collins. I think of it more as Floyd was pretty much crawling through a hole in the ground. I've read somewhere some of the passages were 10 inches wide. 10 inches wide. My leg could not get through some of those passages. A lanky guy like Floyd Collins could, though. However, he did... he violated several rules of caving, or at least modern caving rules. He went caving by himself, and he was very much unprepared for what happened to him in late January 1925. And he paid for it with his life. He did get, obviously, some immortality out of it. We are talking about him today. He is considered one of the world's greatest cavers of all time. And, just an interesting guy, but he did make mistakes leading to his death. But yeah, we do honor him on a day like February 8th, 2025, thinking about the fact that 100 years ago he was going through the torture that he went through right before he died. And so anyway, they have this nice path leading out to Sand Cave. You can't really go down into Sand Cave. It is a national park. Obviously, you can jump over that fence. There's another way to come up through the back way, and you can go down to Sand Cave if you want. I would recommend extreme caution today. February 8th was very wet. Lots of snow and rain recently. The ground is wet, and it's kind of a downward slope. You would probably slip and hurt yourself on a day like today if you went down where we're standing. Also, if you're there in the warmer weather, you have to watch out for snakes. So keep that stuff in mind if you go down there. Be very careful. Really no reason to go down there, though. Again, the park has provided this great little walkway. I have heard that they are going to extend that walkway some more so you can have a better look at Sand Cave. And our wonderful ranger friend is pointing out to us, basically, you see some water dripping right there. It's dripping onto a spot. That is where miners tried to dig beside Sand Cave. And basically they tried to dig an alternate way to get to Floyd Collins and rescue him. That did not work. Again, 55 feet, you're going through limestone for a good chunk of that, and they were not successful. However, I believe that hole was used later on to recover his body. It has been filled in, but that hole is just about where that water is dripping right there. And then Sand Cave is kind of under that ledge there, just to give you a point of reference. And again, it is something a little spooky, a little haunting, thinking about poor Floyd spending the last couple of weeks of his life with his foot trapped and with only a couple of people really able to get to him. And some people said they did get down to him, but they didn't. People lied. But there were brave people who were very helpful to Floyd. Anyway, great story. Again, several books you can look up on it. I've put up other videos about Floyd Collins elsewhere on this YouTube channel. If you're interested in Floyd Collins, if you know much about Mammoth Cave, drop me a note. Let me know what you think. Thanks.